let's get him to do a little bit of exercise today. I'm going to get Scary to hopefully demonstrate just how big and tough and strong his jaws are. And the first thing, get him to do a little bit of a run around, search and find his food. Now, here's the thing. Scary has one of the strongest bites in our park. 4 to 5 times the strength of a dog his size. He is stronger than African hyenas or great white sharks for his size and weight. If you had a metre-long great white or Scary, he can actually bite harder. So, my mum has a lot of questions about my job, because part of my job involves going in with the Devils, playing tuggy with them, and getting them to play a little bit of tuggy over the edge. Mum's question is, how many fingers do you have left? Why on earth did you go to the other side of the planet to go and lose your fingers to an animal that can bite through bone like that? Are you completely and utterly stupid? There is a reason for what we're going to do here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Devils may have one of the strongest bites in the planet, but here's the thing, keeping it. We don't become Olympic athletes, do we, by sitting on the sofa? And Tassie Devils don't get one of the strongest bites in the planet by sitting on their bottoms and eating bits of chopped up meat. They're going to have to do some exercise with us today. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to start with a bit of tuggy over the edge, and we'll work our way to going in and playing a bit of tuggy with them inside. Mum's next good question. If you're going to play tuggy with the Tasmanian Devils, can you not wear a chain metal glove when you do so? Sadly, guys, there's not a lot of points. This animal is actually more than capable of biting through the chain mesh if they really want to. It begs the question, why does such a small creature need such a big set of jaws and teeth? Because let's face it, he's only small, isn't he? I've met people's domestic cats that weigh more than him. But here's the thing, your cats, guys, don't eat bone. Devils do. Each one of these creatures, guys, needs to eat the bone, because the fur, the fluff, the skin, the bone is completely edible to them, mainly because of the amount of food they've got to eat. Each Tassie Devil needs to eat a huge volume of foods. 1/3 of their body weight in half an hour is commonly seen. To give you an idea, Scary weighs 10.5 kilograms. That means he can actually eat between 3 to 3.5 kilograms of meat in 30 minutes. That's a big portion, isn't it? Some of the adult males here might be thinking, though, if you give me a good barbecue, give me steak, give me burger, I'll eat 3.5 kilograms of meat. If you could, I'd be impressed. But if you can, you don't weigh 10 kilograms, do you? If the average Australian adult male was to eat 1/3 of their body weight in half an hour, he'd be eating 25 kilograms of meat in 30 minutes. Imagine doing that. You've got to follow 2 very strict rules to be a successful Tassie Devil. And the first rule is, you can't be too picky about what you're going to eat. Everything goes down the same way. This may not look particularly appetising to us. There's bits of fur, fluff, skin, bone, but it has to be edible. Imagine trying to eat 1/3 of your weight, but only eating the good bits. Would never happen, would it? The other rule, you can't share your food. Ladies and gentlemen, every time I put something over the edge with Scary, do you hear a little sound? A little noise he makes? Now, hear it? Little sneezing sound, isn't it? That sneezing sound is the politest noise in our Tasmanian Devil world. Out of the 11 different vocalisations they have, the 20 different body postures, that one means, please. Please back off. Please give me space. Give me room. I need to eat. It doesn't mean I'm going to bite you. It simply means, please, give me the room I need to feed. These animals are selfish. They're greedy. There's only one time of the year we see nice behaviours in our Tassie Devils. Mum and babies. For 9 to 10 months, Mum cares for her baby in every way she can. She feeds them with meat. She feeds them with milk. But if she meets that baby out in the bush again, she'll fight, scrap with it, in exactly the same way she would do any other. There's no pack. There's no bonds. There's no team. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the scavenging side of our Tassie Devils. And the majority of their diet is made up of things that they already find dead. But you might be surprised to hear that devils are not just scavengers. They sometimes have to go and catch and kill their own. So what kind of prey? Smallest animals for our devils include moths, worms, mosquitoes. The largest might surprise you. Largest animals devils have been known to try and catch and kill include wombats. Wombats weigh 20 to 25 kilograms, double to 3 times his size and weight. So how on earth is Scary here gonna try and take on a wombat? Well, let's try and demonstrate. I'm gonna hop in with him now and get him to play a bit of tuggy. Show off his jaws and teeth a bit more up close and tell you a little bit about how he's not just a scavenger, but a predator. Now, a devil, guys, can actually run 20 to 25 kilometers an hour. They can outrun most of the native natural predators if they want to. But here's the problem, because there's a bit of a catch. He can only do it for 100 metres. After 100 metres, the devil tends to collapse on the ground and they make this noise. They go. Some of you might make that noise. I do when I go for a run at the minute. He's exhausted. But it is not for the same reason. Devils have very few sweat glands on their bodies. It means they can muster just short bursts of energy and speed. They go for the animal's neck. They go for the animal's thigh. They hang on as tightly as they can, and as the animal struggles, it pulls, it tugs, it tries to get away from them. You can notice, he doesn't let go all that easy, does he? The more the animal struggles, tries to get away, it's very often the worse the scenario becomes. The more he settles and cuts every artery, every vein. 3 times the size and weight they may be. Technically, even wombats have been known to fall prey to our devils. Now, to find their food, guys, they've got some very good senses. And I have to tell you, some very, very bad ones. Did you notice how it's the middle of the day? It's bright sunshine. And devils are up and about to come and see you. Not just Scary, but the one next door was running around, wasn't he, as well? Ladies and gentlemen, how come our devils are awake, even though it's not the night? Well, there's an easy reason. His little wet nose is telling him it's dinner time. He can smell his dinner 2 to 3 kilometres away. I cut the food up by the top of the building where you guys came in. From that distance, Scary could smell his dinner before I even arrived. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, 2 to 3k is the same distance as scent hounds, the dogs they use in the airports, can find their food from. No devils checking your bags in Hobart or Launceston yet, but one day they might take over. You never know, hey? Phenomenal sense of smell. But if you look at his ears, they're pink, they're red. He's listening. Ladies and gentlemen, when a devil is using their ears, they change colour. If a devil has inactivity, if it's sleeping, a devil will have cream or peach tone ears. But as they use them, the blood flows, it changes the colour, pink and reds. He's listening. There's one sound that's guaranteed to get him out of bed today. Not just because he can smell the meat, guys, but it's because he knows the sound of my voice. English lads here, always got food on him. Time to get out of bed. Might be the only chance today I get fed. I'm guaranteed to show you a devil, guys, in the middle of the daylight, because he can smell the meat and knows the sound of my voice. But there's one sense that's not very good. And you guys might have noticed it when I was throwing the chunks over a minute ago. Sometimes he stumbled over the pieces, walked back, did a bit of a circle, eventually sat on it and found it. But ladies and gentlemen, he looks lost, doesn't he? Here's the thing. When I hopped the fence, came over, he ran straight away to me, didn't he? Because I'm wiggling the bit of meat. But ladies and gentlemen, if I was to throw a few static pieces around, the animal often looks lost, confused. Unless things move, they're virtually invisible to their eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, the devil's average eyesight range is a blurry black and white metre. That means the distance where you guys are to him, he actually has no idea the colour of your eyes, the shape of your nose, or your ears. You will forever be a blur to this animal. But who needs good eyes in the dark when you got a nose like his? Those bones, by the way, about 2 of my fingers put together. Pretty easy, by the way. That's just the starts. Biggest bone I've seen him crunch, up the size of my fist. Impressive, really. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, there is one final thing I need to tell you about this devil before I move on and show you a group. I'd like to show you how they behave together, not just with me. And before we do that, guys, I need to tell you, well, how come Scary's on his own? Well, he's nuts. He's got a girlfriend. His girlfriend is called Egret. And if you go inside the building at some point today, guys, you'll see her inside. She's very shy. She's brand new to come and meet him. They've only met each other 3 days ago. Ladies and gentlemen, new boyfriend, new girlfriend for the breeding season, but this is a big move for Scary. Do you notice how he's quite pretty? Perfect, pristine. No real scars, cuts and wounds in contrast to most of ours. How come he looks pretty? Well, for most of his life, guys, Scary's actually been kept on his own. Sadly, guys, it's not because we want to keep him on his own. He's actually, unfortunately, had a really tough start. Scary lost his mum and his siblings. They were hit by a car up in Campbelltown, and he was the only baby to survive the impact of the vehicle. He was incredibly lucky, guys, to have survived the impact, but nonetheless, Scary for that reason had to be hand-raised, bottle-fed. Now, there was a lovely wildlife carer who took in Scary, bottle-fed him and raised him, and they did a great job, but here's the problem. While he's turned out biologically perfect, Scary was raised in somebody's house. He was raised with a family. He was even allowed to sleep on the end of the 10-year-old girl's bed at night. Can you imagine seeing him on the end of your bed when you wake up in the night? Terrifying prospect nowadays, isn't it? But ladies and gentlemen, he used to be a puppy dog. He thought he was a puppy. When I first met him, I tried to change him. I gave Scary his first ever girlfriend when he arrived in this park. Tiny female, half his size. He doesn't like to talk about this part of the story. But girlfriend bit his bottom. He spent 2 weeks hiding in the corner. Terrified of her. But how would he know how to be a devil? He's never had a mum, a sibling or anyone else. For the last year we've kept Scary on his own. We've fattened him up. We've made him big, tough and strong. Recently we've given him this girlfriend number 2. She's also bitten his bottom. But at least this time he didn't hide in the corner. He's getting better. I'm hoping one day he might be able to breed. In the meantime, guys, I also have to tell you, he is the most dangerous devil I have on site. I've only just started to jump in with Scary, because previously we used to jump in with Scary, he'd throw the food on the floor and he'd bite the back of your ankles instead. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a reason for it. Scary has learnt very quickly, humans aren't dangerous. If I bite, scream and shout, I get my way. That's something that most devils never truly learn, guys. And for that reason, due to his confidence, he's actually the most dangerous devil we have in the park at the moment. Not so cute and cuddly now, is he? Ladies and gentlemen, let's head on. I'd like to show you a group of devils next. But before we do, since he's up and about...